Well, I want to bring out this video for bringing attention to the fact that Henry Knox, which Fort Knox is named for, was only 25 years old at the time, which today that would make him a millennial. And I want to bring forth this story just to show you what kind of things he had, hardships he had to endure to accomplish a mission that was given to him by George Washington. Now, in the Marine Corps, they'll, and I don't want to tout that Madison Avenue garbage too much. You know, USMC, it's a Madison Avenue image to get people in there to get turned into chopped meat. But I just want to say that, but that's really what it is. But the Henry Knox, 25 years old. Today he would be a millennial, right? And he was tasked with a mission. Henry Knox was a 25-year-old bookseller. He wasn't somebody that was an Olympian athlete or an engineer or anything like that. Now, again, getting back to that point in the Marine Corps, and don't want to even push that too much because it's a big image, because I'm kind of don't want to play that game. Sorry. But in the Marine Corps, they will have you, for one of your first books to read, is what they call is a message to Garcia. And what that book was about, basically, was the officer tasked if somebody with, a Marine, with get this message to Garcia. Didn't say nothing how to do it. Didn't say, exactly how to get there, where Garcia was or anything. He had to figure out who Garcia was. He had to figure out where he was. And he had to go figure out where did he get transportation, boats, or whatever he had to do to get that message over to Garcia. This is before, you could text it on your cell phone. But the point is, you got to show some ingenuity and initiative to get things done, and perseverance. So, I'm putting this, because one thing I can tell you, I put out a video about opening up cans with the Swiss Army knife. Attention millennials. It's because I put attention millennials. Boy, they was jumped all over it to say you're doing it the wrong way. I says, look, I always do it this way, and it's a lot better than Russian hackers scraping a can upside down on the sidewalk to wear the can out to get the can open. That was a video I did, which manual can opener. Most millennials don't even know what that is, but everybody was like, "You didn't? Nobody taught us. Nobody did it." I was like, "Here, this guy is a 25-year-old millennial at the time in 1775, and he was born in 1750. He's only 25 years old. He would have been a millennial of the American Revolution. He was a bookseller. He wasn't anything. He wasn't a military expert or anything like that." So George Washington took control of the Continental Army in Boston, right? So him and Henry Knox became friends. Benedict Arnold was a good guy until they treated him so bad. That's why he turned on the revolutionaries. Ethan Allen and Green Mountain Boys of Vermont had captured Fort Ticonderoga in New York State in May of 1775, along with a huge supply of cannons and other materials. So George Washington sent Henry Knox, which Fort Knox is named for, where the gold is supposedly, but Fort Knox is really known for today for, it's a tank division of the Army, right? Mainly tanks and arty. So George Washington sent Knox to retrieve the cannons and journey that supposedly was supposed to last 2 weeks. Turned out not to be 2 weeks. So Henry Knox, remember, this guy's a millennial. He's a bookseller. Who the hell, I signed up for this deal. I'm a bookseller. Who trained me? Washington said, get those cannons. Henry Knox said, aye, aye, sir. He did it. The hell with it. He didn't know what the hell was going on. He just freaking, just like 99% of the crap I'm doing, I don't really know until I figure it out. School of Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks, and you got Knox here. School of Hard Knocks. Henry Knox reached Fort Ticonderoga, which was captured by the revolutionaries, us, the good guys, from the British, right, on December 5th, 1775. He chose 60 tons of cannons, mortars, and howitzers. Yeah, they had some big stuff back then, including several 24-pound cannons. 24-pound means that's the size of the weight of the projectile it fires. Those are known as Big Berthas, which were 11 feet long, and they weighed 5,000 pounds each, 2.5 tons. A lot more than your little minivan, okay? Whatever the hell people drive today, freaking square box with freaking neon lights on it. The cannons were carried to the northern end of Lake George, which is in New York, and put on a ship. The ship grounded once on a rock, and it hit a rock in a lake, right? It began to sink. At another point, because of the weight, all the freaking cannons that were in it. It almost was a disaster, but the water was bailed out. The millennials bailed the water out. I want to make the point that these people in the American Revolution that were so young, they're no different than you people today. You know what the problem is? You got brainwashed and you got freaking given poison foods. And you got a stupid school system, too, run by the government. Communist government, that is. It was already winter, and Knox built 42 sleds to pull the cannons across the wilderness with 80 yoke of oxen. Okay? They didn't have little ATVs and Jeeps back then or some crap or whatever. You could pull them, so they had to use sleds. And, several cannons broke through the ice, but they were retrieved each time. See that? So this guy, the 25-year-old bookseller, did this stuff. Did he have training in this? I read this story, and I keep thinking back to my, how to teach, millennials pay attention how to open up a can with a manual can opener with a Swiss Army knife. This guy is not opening a can of beans with a Swiss Army knife. Millennials are bitching at me for that. Nobody taught us this. You must have been taught that because you were older generation. Yeah, whatever. A lot of stuff nobody. Watch. Anyway. Snow and ice, including 2 feet of snow that fell on Christmas Day, impeded Knox's progress, but he continued to press on. Go for it, Knox. So John Adams wrote that he saw the noble train of artillery. Yeah, I call that a noble train. That would be a great sight, man, seeing all those freaking arty pieces coming over to me, in which I know I'd fill them up with all kinds of cannonball and black powder, and it'd be raining down on the enemy. Oh, I would love that stuff. That would be great. I got to get one of those. Add to the Confederate flag over here. The weapons arrived at Cambridge, just outside of Boston, on January 27th, nearly 2 months after leaving Fort Ticonderoga in New York. General Washington placed the cannons around Boston Harbor, Boston. Today, whatever the hell it is today, but back in the day it was a good city, including at the high point of Dorchester Heights, overlooking both the city and the harbor. The advantage forced General William Howe to abandon the city, and the British never did return to northern New England. How's that? See, cannons do a lot of good. That's what you want, okay? So, attention millennials. How did Henry Knox do this? 25 years old, a bookseller. He had to figure it out. Sorry. That's pretty much the way everything goes, man. 99% of the people during the American Revolution, they didn't know what the hell was going on, man. I mean, really. I mean, you got to just try to get yourself organized. You got to keep training yourself. You got to keep working on it. And, most people were just individual farmer soldiers, citizen farmer soldiers. This is another reason they don't want millennials, with weapons and stuff, because, you might be independent. You might break away from the oligarchs in the communist system. Who knows? They want you sticking your nose in a smartphone all day. Now, me, I got this, I know about guns and stuff, from way back, but, I guess I learned. I did start out when I was 3 years old from my dad. I know that, but, that's besides the point. But I learned a lot of other stuff way beyond that. And, today I got my 1851 Colt Navy revolver, Confederate thing, which is, a little later than this American Revolution, and it's going to be black powder. And I ordered the black powder for it and the percussion caps. I never done that. I never done that stuff. I got to learn it. That's something brand new. I don't know. But, I'll tell you what, millennials do have it better today, because I found this out. At least I can go on the internet, and either I could see a video on it or I can read about something, how to do something. That makes it a hell of a lot easier. Before the internet, the knowledge or the access to something or, specifications, information was difficult to come by. Problem is, everybody's playing games. I'm kind of diverging here, but, from the main topic. But, Henry Knox, was a millennial and a bookseller and 25 years old. Most of the people in American Revolution, very young, very young. And, one of the communist plots of to freaking knock down the United States is to take out the American youth's toughness. Not to say that all millennials are like that, because some millennials are old school as all hell. They're just as strong as anybody from 150 to 200 years ago. Not all of them are like that, but the deal is that, for the most part, a lot of things have been taken away from that rugged individualism. Everybody is to be a conformist. Don't be politically incorrect. Don't stick out. The hell with that. Actually, the mark of nonconformity probably is the white Caucasian. I'll tell you that right now. That's why we're getting clobbered. Really. That's why we're getting clobbered. The independent white Caucasian, the big powers don't like us because we're too independent thinking. It's not just intelligence. We're independent thinking. I'm very independent thinking. I go it alone, man. I mean, when I came down to this area of the, central Florida, it was empty, and I was out here with a chainsaw and a bolo machete clearing my own land and stuff like that. I wasn't, I didn't call subcontractors and stuff. Oh, do it for me, Very independent-minded myself. And, millennials got to get that spirit back again, which some of them do. Some of them have it. Some of them have it, but a lot of them are losing it. But I wanted to bring out, the Henry Knox, a lot of these things you hear back in history, you think, well, that's because that was them and that was then. And, well, you know what? Relative to his time, he was nothing but a bookseller, Henry Knox. George Washington says, get those cannons. So Henry Knox said, well, okay, I'll get all of them. He took 60 tons of cannons, mortars, and howitzers, including several big berthas that were 11 feet long and weighed 5,000 pounds each. The boat got a hole in it, hit a rock. They had to bail out the boat. They saved cannons. They saved the boat. Then they had to go pull them across the river, which was frozen. Some of the cannons broke through the ice. Guess what? They pulled them out back through the ice and they retrieved them. And they got all those cannons. I don't know, how many, what did I say, 60 tons of them? Yeah, 60 tons. They got all those cannons over to Boston, to George Washington. Just followed orders. He did it. Now, I'm not saying it's that easy. Of course it's not that easy, and you might fail. But the point is, nobody taught this guy what the hell to do. Nobody. I can tell you 90% of this, I got a lot of how-to videos on my channel. I'll tell you what, I wasn't taught that stuff. My father didn't know nothing about fixing cars. I can tell you that right now. He knew some stuff about guns. We didn't know nothing about fixing cars. I got a lot of car mechanic videos out on here. All that stuff was learned by me. How did I learn it? Try it. Sometimes they screw up. I tell you, the internet makes it a lot easier today to learn stuff, though. So, George Washington didn't tell Henry Knox, go take this Swiss Army knife and open up a can of beans. Because if he would have told that to some of the present-day millennials, they'd be saying, nobody taught me that. I didn't go to school for that. Hey, we're in the world of heart, man. That's why I'm taking all my vitamins, because I know if this country needs to be defended, it's going to be old farts like me in my 60s that are going to be doing a job. Anyway, over and out. Have a nice day, millennials. I probably caught your attention now, but don't give me a bunch of crap, because I don't take it anymore from you guys, man. You guys, if you're a good millennial, I love you. But if you're not, forget it. I've seen millennials out there in a Confederate reenactor thing on a Ocklawaha River raid here in Florida, where they were reenacting, and I saw millennials out there, a lot of millennials out there doing the reenactment. They had their black powder reenactment rifles and stuff. And I said to myself, those are good millennials. Those are good ones. But, no smartphones out there. And my stupid smartphone, the only thing I do with it is to record YouTube videos. And once in a while, I might actually use it for a phone. But that's all I use that damn thing for, man. I don't use it for anything else. I'm old school all the way. But I want to get the information out there on the airwaves about some things that a lot of people don't realize. Wasn't easy back then. And Today, boy, I could tell you what, people could today, if they're really smart, they could probably double their lifespan, be fully independent of the government if they want to be. They really could be. And be far more educated than they ever were in their past, and be more skilled in more trades because you got the information available to you. The problem is most people aren't using that information that's available to you on the internet. They're just playing games and going for trivia, like what happened in entertainment or what actress did or the actor did or whatever. They're not doing it. A lot of people have lost their toughness. And actually, I think that a lot of that is a insidious plan to break down the moral fabric of society. What you really want, at the essence of everything, even before this family, is a tough individual. Because the tough individual is usually the man, and the man is the head of the family. Of course, they don't like saying that on YouTube, but that's the way it is. Go back to ancient Roman law. Ancient Roman law that built the republic. The man was a tough individual, citizen, soldier, farmer, and he was the head of the family. Whatever he said went. Today, in the court of law, they would tell you to go to hell. So, to me, I avoid all that bullshit until the government goes down, and I'm going to go freaking come out from my foxhole and freaking take over. That's the way it goes. So anyway, have fun, and, just the kind of millennial I want to see in the future right here. The kind that's going to stand up for the United States and especially the Confederacy, because the Confederacy was a perfection of what was missing from the original U.S. Constitution. We want to fight the oligarchs. We want to fight the power. And we don't need to be taken by the hand and instructed ad nauseum to how we're going to go about it and do it. Remember, the book, The Message to Garcia, just get the message out there, or what Henry Knox did back in 1775, I think it was, whereby he was just instructed to get all these cannons. He took 60 tons of them, and he got them all over to Boston through immense hardships. And this guy was nothing but a 25-year-old bookseller. He just did it. I mean, it's easy to say, but, you figure it out. You got the intelligence, you got the perseverance, you got the stamina, you got the fortitude. Do it. That's what they're trying to drive out of millennials today. They're doing a pretty good job of it, too, but not all of them are like that. That I could say that for sure. Over now.